Right, so the route starts off here in Milton of Balgonie, and the route is the Milton to Colton of Balgonie route. I then head down towards the Byresloan farm before turning left to follow the route that's meant to take you through Tulleybreck to the Wemyss, passing the Standing Road. But unfortunately, when I zoom in here, you'll see that this is where you can no longer get through at the moment due to railway tracks being there, and there's no diversion that I could find. Well, I've parked up in the small village of Milton of Balgonie, and I'm going to go for a walk out along the farmlands way. The weather's not as nice as we've been getting. The wind's picked up and that again, a bit colder. Yesterday was an absolutely beautiful day. Felt like peak summer. Public path to Wemyss by Tulleybreck. Here you've got Balgonie Castle in the background. Privately owned castle by a family that's, I believe, still living there. I know one of the guys still lives in there anyway. I don't think it's open really for tourism now. I saw things years ago that people used to go in and that, but never really hear about that now. Probably because it is mainly residential. I'll probably not be able to get the drone up the day because it does seem a bit too windy. Maybe if it drops, but who knows. That was actually pretty lucky there. The wind dropped for a good 5 minutes, so I managed to get the drone up and get a nice wee shot of the landscape. So if you go off to the left that way, I think that's the other route that you can take back to Milton of Balgonie. It just takes you out at the other side of the town. Might go that way on the way back. We'll see how we get on. But over there you've got the South Park farm cottages. I think this path / farm track that I'm walking down at the moment is called Byresloan. Oh, we've got a deer in the field there. You can see that. Oh, a couple. So we're actually going to be gradually approaching that farm over there. I think that one's called the Byresloan farm. The core path runs right next to the farm, and then we'll be cutting off because this route eventually takes you to the Colton of Balgonie. We'll be cutting off before that and heading down towards the wind turbines. Eventually that takes you right down to the Wemyss, but I'm going to be just stopping off at the Standing Stone Road before I head back. dark enough at the moment. So this is the bit here I was talking about. So if you continue straight, that takes you on to the Colton of Balgonie. I'm going down this way. Some information about conservation crops. So this is the way that's meant to take you through another farm. And I think it's at Tulleybreck. A lot of the core paths, right of ways, all that stuff runs through farms. And I think it's the reason they were established was because under Scottish access rights, it doesn't actually apply, your access rights don't apply to farmyards, but these routes were written in so that you have a right of way there. Because this route didn't exist, you probably technically couldn't go through that bit that I went through. So that's why these routes are allowed and probably agreed not a long time ago when the acts were all put in place. Because otherwise, if you couldn't go through the farmyard, you'd have to then find another route or use access rights to enter a field, for example, like that field there, and stick to the perimeter if there's crops. If there's not crops, then you're okay. Which is more of a hassle, so it's quite good that we've got these routes in place, and as long as you're respectful, then you're not going to get any hassle at all. One key thing at farms is you must keep dogs on the lead, because obviously if there's animals especially, and the dog starts interfering with animals, there has been dogs that have been shot before, which is absolutely horrific, so that's why it's best to keep them on the lead if you're near farm animals. There's a couple of farms that, up that I've done before that don't have any specific core path or right of way, but a lot of times you'll notice that they've put signs up, for example, in case pedestrians do come, they'll tell you which route to follow, so you don't end up actually going into dangerous areas for machinery and things like that. So a lot of them are prepared. Coming overhead, looks like one of the private planes. I wonder if it comes from the Balgonie airfield or the Fife airport, which is, they're probably about equal in distance, to be fair. This looks like it's end of the road. This is as far as you can reach this way. And there's that other farm over there that I was talking about. Because of these railway tracks that are in place now. Well, there we go. So that was as far down as you can reach currently. I wonder if a footbridge or something will be put in at some point, because obviously there's meant to be a right of way there, but I didn't know about the new train track, so that it could potentially be blocked. But you can't really go too much further anyway. You can go across that farm, and then you're on the standing road. so I'll have to get footage from the other side later and go for a drive around the other way.